always waiting on the YouTube, but we have TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and now YouTube. YouTube. Welcome, everybody. Come on in. Have a seat.
Is the mic on? It is.
Dude, what's up with the computer?
I don't know, man.
Okay, guys. You're coming in here because we're going to answer questions about home loans, interest rates, programs, how much to put down, what credit score do you need, what are the guidelines to buy a house. That's why you guys are here, so don't forget to ask us the questions. And I'm going to ask you guys for some likes because you guys have been really pumping up the likes lately, and I'm loving it. I don't know what it means, but tells us something, gives us a little gauge of what's going on in the world. So load them up, guys. Ask your questions about programs, interest rates, different ways to buy a house. You want to buy a second home, investment property. What credit score do you need? We up?
Yep, we're up and rolling.
All
So
right.
there's a strange thing that happened. We've gotten a couple of LEs lately, and just out of nowhere, just LE, which I don't mind, but there's no question. There's no, hey, can you beat this? Hey, is this a good deal? It's just LE. And I'm like, wow, that's just, you just sent me an LE just like that. One of them that I just showed you a few minutes ago, you're like, hey, did you check the COE date? That was like 3 weeks ago. That thing closed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, I don't see any data on this. What am I supposed to do with this LE?
Might be someone mad at us. Might be someone that watches us and they're like, I got a loan already. Could be that.
Think so?
People like drama. I don't know if you know this, but people like drama.
Well,
Thank you, janitorial. Okay, A. Hernandez, 24. If I had a loan modification on a first mortgage in 2021, would I still be able to get a second mortgage? I'm assuming in 2024, right? Is that the question? The answer is probably. So if you had a loan modification on your first and you've made your payments for 12 months, that's what they really look at. 12 months is your point of demarcation. It's the length of time that they want to show people to show good time, good payments, good everything. So if you had it in 2021 and 12 months payments, no late since then, I think you could probably get a second or a HELOC.
Yeah, and it depends on the type of loan mod. Sometimes there's a deferment, and that will classify as a mod. Sometimes there's a principal reduction, and that classifies as a mod. So it depends on the type of loan mod.
Lopez 35. I'm self-employed. What do I need to net qualify for a $500,000 house? Net qualify for $500,000. I'm going to say $125.
I'm gonna say $115.
Okay, we're close.
Yeah, I'm gonna say $115.
15 to 25, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, but here's a very important part. If you're self-employed, when we calculate your income, we are allowed to add back in certain line items. So if I had depreciation or depletion, I'm able to add that in dollar for dollar. So that's kind of important because, everybody, when you're self-employed, you want to pay the least amount legal taxes that you can. And if your accountant has the ability to classify it legally as depreciation or depletion, I'm able to add that back in. So it's a big deal.
Yeah. All right, guys. If you don't know, here it is. Time for a commercial.
Now you know. If you need a badass loan, call a badass loan officer. Your badass loan officers are Chris and Lee at New American Funding. We are here to help you get your house. This will disappear in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye. Wave at them. Last time it helped a lot. No, I didn't click the belly button.
Oh.
So here's what's going on. The Federal Reserve, and there's a whole bunch of weirdness going on in the market right now. But remember that the FOMC, these are the members of the FOMC. You can pull this up online. It's pretty easy. The chairman of the Federal Reserve, his name is Jerome Powell. These are really smart guys. These are not guys who get freaked out over one simple little thing. Hey, jobs came in high, they came in low. Unemployment came in high, came in low. They don't get freaked out about that stuff. There's 12 of them on the committee. And right now where you see this is 5.25 and 5.5. They're all in a consensus that we should be at 5.25 and 5.5. However, over the next 2 years, you will see that all of their opinions are that we should converge in about 2 to 2.5 years at 2.5. What? 2.5. Why is that important? Because that dictates our market, which means we can with a great degree of certainty, predict that the interest rates are going to go down over the next 2 to 2.5 years. The big question at the moment is, when does it start? That's called the pivot. And when the pivot starts, that's when there's going to be a little bit of mayhem. But it's not going to happen quick. It would be very dangerous for us if it happened quick. It's going to be slow, methodical, and controlled, which is the way it should be. This is not fun for the people buying a house, the realtors, and the loan officers. Why? Because we'd like to see a 100 basis point drop tomorrow. If that happens, I will have 50 applications by the end of the month. 50? Probably 50. Maybe more. So I will have 50 applications and we will be rolling in business, but it will hurt the overall business. It will hurt the overall economy. VA loans, Sarah? Yes, we do VA loans. I will teach you a lot about a VA loan in just a minute. So what we're all watching for is the first move on the pivot. The pivot is, yes, we can find you a realtor. I'll get to you in just a second, I promise. And yes, conventional loan, HELOC, yes, we do those. So over the next 2.5 years, this is calendar year 2026 and into 2027, they're all on a consensus that says the Fed funds rate should be at 2.5%. Does that mean that the mortgage rate will be at 2.5%? No. Traditionally, historically, it's about 100 to 150 basis points off the prime because it's actually based off the 10-year yield. So, based off that, we should be in the 4s, 4.5s, somewhere like that. And that's over the next 2 years, but it's not going to happen that quick. Boom.
Right. Guys, I need you to do me a favor. I need you guys to pump up those likes. We're at 59 right now. I want to try and get us to 5,000, and then we'll go up from
5,000?
there. So please help us. The more likes that you give, the more time that you share, the more people enter in, the more questions get asked, the more help everyone gets.
Let's talk about the VA loan. The VA loan is probably the best loan in the system if you're qualified. In order to be qualified, you have to be a veteran. Veteran of what? The armed services or National Guard, Coast Guard, and a few other things, but the requirements are a little bit different for those. So, if you are a veteran, the VA loan is one of the best out there. Why? Because no mortgage insurance. You don't pay it because the VA steps in and guarantees the loan, or they insure the loan. Insures or guarantees? Insures the loan. They insure the loan up to 25%. What? That's a lot. 25%. And you can get in with zero down. Zero down. Now, here's one of the big things that's super huge about the VA loan. You know what the FICO score requirement is for a VA loan?
On a manual, 500.
On a manual, 500. By the guidelines, there is no requirement. It doesn't matter what your FICO score is. It's the only loan in the business. It's the only loan in the system that doesn't care about your FICO score like that. They don't care at all. Now, there are some banks that have overlays, and their overlays will say, for my bank, I will only lend you a VA loan if you have a 620. And for their bank, that's true. But for the VA guideline, no. If you're VA direct, it doesn't matter. A VA is a residual-driven loan. Residual is a special calculation on the back end of a loan that allows it to go forward regardless of the FICO score. Now, listen closely. They do take into account your payment history, which adds up to your FICO score. So it's not ignored entirely. It's just not a hard stop. Cool. Next.
Cool your brews. Damn, this 30K debt I have, or I would be looking for my second home. 30K in debt isn't a lot of debt. What's the payment on that? You might be able to service that and still be able to get a second home. Cool your brews, give us a little bit more data. We can help you out. Stephen Debner, if you're making $20 an hour and your score is low 600, what options do I have?
Well, you have the option of starting the process so you can actually get the facts. And there may be an option of funding an FHA loan that starts with a 580 FICO score. If you're putting 3.5% down, in certain parts of the country, $20 an hour will do it. Not all parts of the country, like Los Angeles. Los Angeles, the minimum wage for a fast food worker, $20 an hour. No kidding, no joke. 2 days ago, went into law. So, minimum wage for a fast food worker, $20 an hour. However, you probably can't touch a house in LA for $600 grand. $600 grand. The average price in LA is probably $850 to $900, somewhere in that range. So it depends on where you're at.
Well, here's the good news: is that one worker makes $20 an hour. What if you get 3 friends, 4 of you? That's $200,000 a year in income. You guys could buy a house. So you fast forward workers, get together, buy homes. Stephen Debner, there you go. VA loan. Sarah, you already answered that one. Sarah actually wants to know about the one-time construction loan for VA.
Okay, good. That's a very good question. Also, don't forget there's some questions there. So, the VA one-time construction loan. It sounds great on paper. It does. It sounds great on paper. It does. Hey, I get to construct my own loan. It's not so easy. First off, you have to get the builder or the general contractor to get VA approved. That's not actually that hard. But the next part is very hard, which is you have to be able to pull permits, make sure that this can be done, that you have electricity, gas, sewage, everything that you possibly need in order to build that home. Then we have to align with a construction lender that will be taken out by the VA loan. It's a consortium of loans and professionals. It's not easy. Very, very difficult. Very difficult. Not impossible, just very difficult. Here's why. When you build a house, it's not I think I want a 4-bedroom, 3-bath right over there. Way more than that. Way more. It's a profession. There are people that make a very good living building houses. They're called builders. And they get some money. And they risk the money. Because if they do something wrong, they don't get their money back. There's a risk there. And if you do something wrong, the bank doesn't get their money back. The VA will do a takeout loan behind that construction loan in order to make it happen. So can it happen? Yes. Is it very difficult? Very difficult. Very difficult. Doable? Doable. Yes.
Estrella, are you able to find me a realtor? Where you at, Estrella? Let us know the city and state. We can definitely help you. The question is, are you qualified to buy a house? Because realtors, what they'll do is they'll say, hey, are you pre-qualified? So what you're going to do is you're going to pass us and then go to a realtor, and the realtor's just going to push you back. So Estrella, are you pre-qualified already? And if so, we can hook you up with an agent. And the other question is, why hasn't your loan officer if you're already pre-qualified?
Yeah.
Or maybe you're not qualified and you're just thinking that you start with the realtor. Well, you start with the financing. So you start with, where do you stand? Mm-hmm. Can you even buy? Then we'll give you your parameters. Mm-hmm. That data goes to the realtor. You're off to the races and you're shopping for your home. So Estrella, reach out to us. Screenshot this right now. Reach out to one of us. We'll help you.
Do you know why? That's the responsible way to do it. Here's why. Here's how a lot of people find us. They're like, hey, I just took my husband, 2 kids, and dog into this beautiful home that I'd like to buy. It's $750,000. I'm like, okay, cool. You qualified? No, I just like the house. Okay, do you have any idea of where you're qualified and whether or not you can get this house? No, we just like the house. We really want it. Okay. Tell you what, send me all your documents in. All right, let's see if we can get you qualified. All right, cool. Got all your documents. See that you guys are your husband's a truck driver and you make a lot of money too. So I have you qualified for $600,000. But Lee, the house is $750,000. I understand that. But I have you qualified for $600,000 after really calculating your income, pulling your credit, finding out your assets. I have you qualified for $600,000. Does that mean we're not getting that $750,000 house? It probably means that. Yeah, it probably means that. And you should be looking in the $600,000 range. Well, thank you anyway. We were just kind of excited about that $750,000 house. And then they don't look for 6 months to a year. How often do you run into this?
All the time.
All the time.
Always putting the horse before the cart.
Yeah.
So you got to do the proper steps, guys, because it's going to affect you down the road. Kelly Hardwick, thank you for the love. B, thank you for the love.
Appreciate
Kevin, 2023. What about FHA?
What about FHA? What about FHA? FHA, Federal Housing Administration, 3.5% down. UFMIP, 1.75%. Mandated MI at 3.5% is 0.55. If you put more than 5%, the MI is 0.50. If you put more than 10%, the MI will drop off in 10 or 11 years. In 11 years, what more do you want to know?
Sarah, 90K yearly, 680 credit score, 550 monthly debt, approved for 500,000, can't afford 500 loan, not looking, LOL, looking for 440. Sarah, are you showing off? Are you saying you qualify for a lot more than what you're looking for and being conservative?
Approved for 500.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
what's the question, Sarah?
Yeah. How can we help you? We want to help you, Sarah.
Morgan, how far in advance should I look for a home if I rent leases up in October? So I would start now. This is what I would do. I would call us. I would get you qualified. I would let you know what you can qualify for. And then you say, yeah, there's a bunch of homes in this range. I'd love to buy them. Cool. Then you'll talk to your landlord and you'll say, hey, landlord, I want to move out ASAP, but here's what I'm going to do to help you to break that lease. I'm going to find you a renter. So you put a little ad out on Craigslist or wherever, and you try to find them a renter. Because the truth is, a lot of you people that are renting out there with leases, you think I have to break this, and they're going to take me to court, and he's going to, sue me for a lot of money. All he wants is a renter in there. That's all he wants. You don't care if it's you, him, her, doesn't matter. Also, the renter behind you pays more in rent. Always pays more in rent. So it's a business opportunity for your landlord. So I would start now, see where you stand.
Messi or Ronaldo? Messi.
Who's Ronaldo? What's Ronaldo?
Soccer players.
Oh, Sarah, how you doing? I'm looking for the lender and builder. Just looking for land now. Not a lot of options out here in Oregon.
I found the lender and the builder. Is this for the VA loan? Is this for the VA? Yeah, this is for the VA loan. Yeah, it's a very complicated process, but yeah. And then here's the hard part. I get a lot of people. This is a very common thing. Hey, Lee, what I want to do is buy some land and build on it. All right, cool. I love that. We all do, by the way. You're not like breaking news going, hey, I got this idea. I'm going to cut everybody out, get some land, build a house on it, and hack the system. I've been thinking it for years. He's been thinking it for years. We all think it. Everybody thinks it. So it's not really groundbreaking. FHA allows it, the one-time construct. VA allows it, the one-time construct. Even USDA allows it. Very complicated, but one-time construct. So do these exist? Yes. But here's the real problem with that. The real problem is, hey, I found this beautiful piece of land. Awesome. Can I put 3.5% down? No, it's land. It's land. Well, what does that mean, Lee? Well, it means land is 50% down. How much? 50% down for land. 50. What? Why? Well, because nobody cares about your land. It's your idea. It's beautiful in your mind. But if you don't pay on it, there's no income coming from that land. I can't rent out that land. I can't put another family in that land. There is no beneficial interest for a bank to lend on that land other than you might make the payments. And I say might because land defaults all the time. So we're like, hey, I get this 35-acre piece of land. I love it. It's $120,000. Cool. Good for you. $60,000 minimum. And you have to have the FICO and income to require. And that's before you start the construction. All right, cool. Now you got the land. Next thing you need to go is, hey, I need some power there. I need power and water. Well, what do you mean I need power? Doesn't the electric company just give me power? Not if it's a piece of land. If it's a piece of land, you got to bring power to it. But how about water? Doesn't just the water company give me water? No. A lot of places the water company will not. You got to drill a well and then figure out if that well is viable. Well, how about sewage? Can I just flush the toilet and it goes somewhere? No, you got to build a leach field. You got to build a septic system. Wait a minute. How come? Well, how about subjacent lateral support, or better yet, the support of the land? Can it support the structure you're about to put on it? You're about to put umpteenth tons on this land. Will it sink? Well, how do you know? You got to call the soils people to make sure that this can actually support the weight that you're about to put on it. How about irrigation? You need a land survey to go in and find out when it rains, will it fill up my living room? Yeah, there's a lot to it. Anyway.
Diarrhea Jones Jr. I think he answered your question because you were asking what's required to obtain a land loan. Maddie Boo, my third favorite Maddie. Thanks for taking out my 401k for down payment. Yeah, that's a good idea, Maddie Boo.
You can do that.
You're going to change your investment.
You're going to put TOW. That's the term that loan officers use. Terms of withdrawal. Not all of them let you. There are rules that they let you. So the minute you say, hey, I'm with XYZ 401k, I say, cool, can you get me terms of withdrawal? And they're like, what's that? Never mind, just tell them they can talk to me. I'll get it.
So what you're going to want to do, Maddie Boo, is you're going to want to figure out how much you can actually access. If your 401k statement shows you 10,000, 100,000, 200,000, it doesn't always mean that what you can access to buy a house. So call the company, figure out how much you can access, then figure out or ask them, how long does it take to get these funds in my account? Very important, because most people think, well, I'm just going to do this right when I'm going to buy my house. Some companies take over up to 4 weeks to get the money in your account. 4 weeks. So if you're in escrow, which is usually 30 days, which is about 4 weeks, you might be late on that. So figure out how long it takes from their account into your bank account. Some take 48 hours, but those 2 questions are big and important. And then what you're going to do is call us, and then we're going to qualify you. Even though you don't have the funds, we're going to just get your statement and figure it out, okay? So that's what you're going to do, Matty Boo. Talk to you soon. Morgan Alexa says, thank you. Evelyn, thank you for the love.
Appreciate you.
Sarah, what would you recommend? A construction loan over buying already built homes? Maybe a rehab loan?
So would you not recommend a construction loan over not buying? Listen, buying an already built house is the way that's the easiest way to do it. If you happen to be a builder, a general contractor, and you really know the market, maybe, but even then,
Got it, Josh.
Yeah, even then, it's not. I've actually built houses. It went way over budget, took way longer than I thought it would. I happened to had a lot of money at the time, so I was able to just keep writing checks, but it got ridiculous. Like, the average person could not, it was just insane. So, if I had the choice again, would I build my primary residence? Only if I had a primary residence already on the land that I was living in, because it was going to take 2 to 3 times longer and cost 2 to 3 times more than what you think it is.
Elite Josh, salute all from Florida. Florida. You know what I heard about Florida this morning? That was actually PBD that said it. He said Florida is like they took the best parts of California, the best parts of Texas, mashed them up and put them in Florida.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm loving Florida, man.
Damn.
That's definitely on the list.
I did, yeah.
Definitely
I love
on
Florida.
the list.
Yeah.
Caesar, what do you think about a HELOC loan?
Caesar, appropriate or inappropriate? Sometimes it is,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's not. Is it a favorable loan? No, it's not. It's not a fun loan. It's not like, hey, I'm gonna get me a good HELOC. If you need money and you want to leverage your house to get it, it's not going to be cheap. Don't think it is. You're seeing rates at 5, 6, 7%. That's not going to be your HELOC. No way, no way, no way. And it's not going to be fun. They're not going to be like, hey, I can get all the way up to 100% of my value. No, no way, no way, no way. But if you need the money, you got to do it.
Probably the only option you really have right now. If you have a low rate. If you're in the 6s and 7s, you do a cash out refinance. But if you have like a 2, 3, probably the only way to get funds.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of them, but like what he said, it's either appropriate for you or not appropriate for you.
Yeah.
So you guys can make the decision.
Yeah.
It's not a bad option to access money. Okay, what we
Well,
got?
let me give
Vinny.
you one more thing. I had a client who I've been working with for like 10 years. He called me up and he says, hey, Lee, I heard about this program where I take out a HELOC and I pay off my primary mortgage. I think it's a good idea. What do you think? I said, okay, let's just run some basic math here, okay? Just some basic math, okay? Your primary mortgage, I know because I did it, is 2.5%. 2.5%. 2.5%. You couldn't get 2.5% today. It's impossible. You can't do it. You just can't. So you want to take out a loan that's going to charge you 10% interest so you can pay off a loan that you're paying 2.5% on? And he goes, yeah, I heard somebody on TikTok that this is a good idea. And I said, so I just want you to put some math here. Money has costs. When you borrow money, it costs you amount. You have a loan right now that costs you 2%, 2.5%. That's unheard of. It doesn't exist anymore. You want to take out money that's going to cost you 10% to pay off 2.5%. Just on the surface. Does that make sense? And he goes, Lee, I never really thought about it like that. And I'm like, okay, so let's start thinking about it like that. And he says, can I talk to you next week? Sure, let's talk next week.
Cool.
Kind of where we're at.
Vinny Garcia, if I offer $300,000 for a $290,000 house, but appraised at $280,000, can I counter offer down?
That's cute, Vinny.
It's a good thought, Vinny.
That's a good thought, man. I really would. Yeah. I want to, if you offered, you can offer whatever you want, but once you're in contract, ooh, that's a problem. Now,
contract.
if you had a very good realtor, a very good realtor, and a good lender, a very good lender, they would be able to say, unfortunately, Vinny isn't going to be able to cover this $280,000 house at $300,000 because all we can lend him is to the value of the property, and we're going to have to trigger the loan contingency and cancel the contract.
Takes guts.
Or you can reduce your price to $280, and we can just continue forward.
Takes guts.
However, if you don't have a good realtor, then there's no loan contingency in there. You're in contract.
No guts.
Contract. And contract is very difficult to get out of unless there's something already built in where you can get out of the contract.
So you're saying you should have a great realtor on your
I'm
side?
saying you should have a great realtor,
No?
and a great loan officer. Yeah, and a great loan officer.
I
So
think that's what I
hopefully
heard.
that gave you the data, but your realtor should have already kicked in the minute it came in at 280. They should have been like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Here's the next thing. Here's the next thing. Here's the next thing. Hey, Mr. Lender, you can only go up to 280, right? Because that's what we have. We have this 3.5% down off the purchase price of the loan amount. Boom. Yeah.
And also, there's a few different workarounds that no one really knows about. But that property, if you got it appraised FHA, that appraisal sticks with that property for the next 6 months.
Or VA.
Or VA. If you back out of that loan or that contract, and someone else comes in behind them FHA, that 280 stands. So
Vinny,
there's a lot of tools for your realtor to negotiate.
You're just reminding me of a very hard lesson I had one time that I had a wise man teach me. I said, oh my God, I'm in contract for $300,000. Oh my God, the appraisal came in at 280,000. I went to the president of the bank. I said, hey, president of the bank, oh my God, this is horrible. My escrow is going to fall apart. We're in contract for $300,000, and the appraisal came in at $280,000. President of the bank, can you please tell me how to get this appraisal from $280,000 to $300,000? And he looked me right in the eye and he said, you want your client to pay more for the house than the market value?
Yeah, why'd you want to do that?
And I sat there for a second and I was like I got punched in the face.
You should have. Why'd you do that?
I did for a second. And it taught me a lesson. And he goes, why? Give me a good reason and I'll teach you. But why would you want your client to pay more for the house than the actual market value? And I was like, well, because that's the contract? He goes, the contract? That's just two realtors trying to make money. Because that's what the seller wanted to sell it at? Of course he does. He wants to make more money. Why would you, protecting your client, want your client to pay $20,000 more than a licensed appraiser says that the market is?
Seems silly to me.
And I walked back and I said, wow. And he says, before you leave, Lee, there are reasons. If he's living right next to his mom, that might be worth $20,000 more. Right next to a college that he really wants to go to, might be worth it. Right next to his job, doesn't have to pay. That might be worth it. Give me a reason, and I'll tell you how.
Cruise with us. Everyone, they're going to get to all your questions. Just hang in there. We're going to get to all of them. Cruise with us. It sounds like you're a travel agent maybe. Florida here. Orlando's crazy busy with Disney. Ugh, yeah. Disney. That's one thing I don't like about Florida.
You
Sarah,
don't?
I'm not a Disney fan. I mean, I don't dislike Florida because of it, but I wouldn't want to be in that area.
Busch Gardens? Hey, cruise with it. Busch Gardens, Anheuser-Busch.
You want some Bud Light? Bud Light fan over here. Sarah, what about new construction communities? What do you mean, like communities with parks and pools and stuff like that? I love them. I live in one. We have pools and parks and runways and walkways and blah, 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 blah.
Did you get screwed?
Yes! That's the downside, guys. It's very expensive. Very, very expensive.
Even though you're in the business, did you catch where you get screwed?
Oh, I knew it. I knew it clearly. And
where did you get screwed?
Let's do it.
Give me the two places. Give me the two places where you got screwed. I can name them. But
the first place is your tax base, okay? So normal tax base here in California is about 1.25%. I paid about 2.9%.
What?
Almost double.
2.9?
Oh, that's more than double.
Yeah.
I don't know math. Anyway, so yes, 2.9%. Here's why. Because when they put in the pools and the parks and the sidewalks and the runways and the walkways and the this way and the that way, everything has to get paid back. So what they do is they borrow money actually they put out a bond, okay? They get money, and that money has to get paid back. But guess who pays for it? The local taxpayers in the area. Now, my tax base will go down slowly over the years. I think 10 years is the first drop, and then the next 15 years is going to be another drop. But it is I pay a higher mortgage payment because of it. So if you impound all of them, your mortgage payment goes up. So I pay probably $600 more a month in taxes than my neighbor across the street. Now, the other thing is HOA. Because they want to maintain everything, the color schemes and the shrubbery and the green belts and the this and the pool and the blah, 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 I pay an extra fee for that too. So overall, I pay about $1,000 a month more than the people across the street. Now, they don't have access to all the stuff that we do, so I guess there's something to say about that, but it is more expensive. Do I like them? Yes. If you're prepared to pay more money and you can get approved for it, move forward. Hey, said Mama,
Mush, mush, mush. I'm working my credit score. What number should I reach to obtain the best rate? Ragaram. 800 for the best rate. For the best rate.
All right.
You're looking for a good rate? 7s, high 6s, low 7s. Good rate. Best rate, 800.
Sarah, what's your insider community builds? I think we answered that question just right there.
Oh, we got so many questions. We're trying, guys. We're going to get to all your questions. We're going to teach you how to buy a house in 2024.
This is a good question.
Good.
Vinny Garcia, okay, thank you. You're welcome. Kay Larson said, definition of a good realtor?
Okay, here, this one's tough, Kay Larson. Tough. Because a lot of realtors get in the business, and the barrier to entry is just a real estate exam. It's just. I have a real estate license. He has a real estate license. Everybody in this room has a real estate license. I'm in a building with a whole bunch of people. Everybody in the building has a real estate license. So the barrier to entry is very low, a real estate license. Then you have to get to a good realtor. Now, a good realtor can only be a good realtor after they have closed a bunch of transactions because they've been through shit. Because everybody's trying to get over on everybody in this business. And a good realtor actually understands stuff, understands what's going on. Here's the problem. They think because they're a realtor that they deserve the business. A lot of pretty people join the real estate business like, hey, I get a lot of attention. I'm going to turn that into wealth. No, it doesn't work that way. So a good realtor really, really, really knows their stuff. So how do you find one? First thing you say is, hey, how many transactions have you closed in the last 12 months? If the answer is in the last 12 months, less than 20, red flag, red flag, red flag. Okay. If it's more than 50, okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But less than 20, okay, scary. All right. How long have you been in the business? Less than 20 transactions and 3 years? Red flag, red flag, red flag. Why? Because they don't know. There's nothing wrong with it. They just don't know. And if you're lucky, because the next question is, can you deal with a realtor that doesn't know a lot but still be protected? The answer is yes, you can if that realtor's on a team where the team lead knows or has a dynamite broker. Because in many states, California is one of them, you're actually doing business with the broker. But the broker doesn't really see the transaction unless you ask them to. If you ask them to, they will look at the transaction because they have to. The realtor works for them. And when you put in their realtor into the BRE, it'll say who the broker is, and then it'll tell you how many people work underneath that broker. It's all very transparent out there. You need somebody that has been in a lot of situations. The next thing, someone who's not afraid to invest in their education. How do you invest in your education? Well, one of the ways that I choose a realtor for somebody is I have a handful of realtors that are in top producer groups. They pay $1,000 a month to be in this group. And once a week, the top producers get together and deal with their problems or whatever. So I say, hey, realtor of mine, can you find me one in Arkansas? And they say, okay, cool. They go to their top producer group and they say, hey, do we have anybody here in Arkansas that does business? And then somebody says, hey, raise my hand. Cool. I'd like to have my lender contact you. I will call them and say, hey, Bill, I got your number from over here. I understand you're a top producer. Yes. Cool. How many transactions have you closed? So I closed 86 myself last year and then 230 with my team. All right, cool. Hey, I've got a fully qualified buyer to go shopping. Do you have the time to give them attention? And if they say, I'll make some time, or that's all good. If they say, well, kind of busy right now, say, cool, thank you, have a good day, Bill. But they all say, I'll make time. Cool, I'm going to be checking on you, Bill. I'm going to give you my client. My fiduciary responsibilities to my client. If for any reason my client's not happy, I'm going to change to somebody else, Bill. No disrespect to you. I understand, Lee. I'm going to walk you every step of the way and tell you what we're doing. Cool. Now I know I have somebody who's investing at least $1,000 a month in making themselves better, and they have the income in order to invest $1,000 a month to make themselves better. So that's how I find it.
Vinny, you're messing with us, man. You said it's not appraised yet. The seller still hasn't accepted my offer.
Oh, Vinny, you're playing games. Cool. Yeah, I got it. Cool.
Vinny, Jennifer, thank you for the love. David, thank you for the love. Cruise with us. LOL. Jennifer Properties. I wonder what she does.
Jennifer Properties. There.
What do you have available for I-10 clients?
19. So we have loans available for I-10 clients. What kind? I-10 loans. So here's a category. Jennifer Properties. I-10 is a category. Like FHA is a category. VA is a category. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, those are GSE. Those are category. I-10 is a category. Inside of that category, the rules change a lot. You're going to need 20%. I know there's one or two out there for 15%, and very few people qualify for that 15%, but you're going to need 20%. As a rule, if I get you for 15, it's the best.
Boom. Cruise with us. Epcot is a blast, and Hillywood Studios. You know what? I'm going to check it out one day. I'm talking crap. I am not a big fan of Disney, but I have kids and they like that stuff, and I want to take them out. So one day I'll visit. Maybe we'll hook up and
Disney
do some real
World's
estate.
different. It's been years, but Disney World is way different than Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thumbs up. Rock 'em round. Francisco, what is the interest rates right now?
Right now, at this exact minute, I'm about to check the pulse on the interest rate. Okay, cool. What we're getting, if you went to the New American Funding website and you wanted to know what the quote is from the New American Funding website, to the public, you would see 5.625. 5.625 on a 15-year conventional. You would see 5.75 on a 30-year fixed, or 5.75 on a 30-year VA. That is not your quote. The only way I can give you your quote, Francisco, is to pull your credit, calculate your income and your assets, and then I can give you your quote. What I'm telling you is what New American Funding is putting out to the world. Don't believe me? Go to the top where it's at the links on our profile. Go to cool stuff, today's rates. You'll see what I'm seeing.
Boom. Do me a favor, guys. We need to pump up those likes. Thank you. We got like 1,500 right now, but we need more because it tells people to come in and they ask more questions and we get to help more people.
Yep.
So I appreciate all of you. If you can just like. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Share. Thank you very much. Also, if you guys are interested in getting started right now, can't talk to us obviously, but right now, go to the link in the bio, same place where we said go to cool stuff, but you're going to click on apply for a home loan now. Also, if your credit is not the best, same place, link in the bio, click on fix my credit. If you know your credit is not good and you know you want to buy a house one day or buy a car or get a credit card, fix your credit, guys, get that thing moving. Elite Josh, is it 800 plus? I'm 800. Like 793.
I don't know what we're talking about.
You said what's FICO? The best FICO to get best credit score?
Oh, FICO score? 800. Yeah, in the 800s is probably the best. The best. I think most of them will kick at about 780. But there's some that 800. But it's so tiny difference at that level. You're like elite at that level. You're elite. So it's good news.
Sarah, this is a tough one, but we have the answers. Last question. My husband deploys end of this year. Should I wait till he returns in 2025 to buy?
No,
Thank you for his service.
Probably not. Yeah. Thank you very much for his service. I close loans with VAs that are veterans, or not even veterans. They're active duty members that are deployed all the time. Now, if you're legally married, it's easy. But I closed one not that long ago with a veteran who is deployed, who his girlfriend basically signed everything with his thumbs up. And he was gone. Can't get a hold of him. Can't do anything. Can't talk to him. There's a lot of stuff going on where our active duty military, much respect to them. Much respect. But here's the thing. As the interest rates go down, and this is what they are anticipating is going to happen over the next 2.5 years. Right now, interest rates are 5.25, 5.5. That's the prime rate. We anticipate they go down to 2.5, which sounds great, except as interest rates go down, home prices go up. So if you wait till interest rates go down, you'll probably get a better interest rate. And you'll probably pay a lot more for your house. So, given the choice, I'd make the move today.
I agree, and that's what I would say. Mush. I got denied at 640 credit score.
Apply with us. I don't know why, but I can tell you why,
No
and then we
reason.
can figure it out.
No reason. This is a good question.
Yeah.
David titled, or Tito David, do you mind explaining if they look more at the score or the history?
Very good question. So, they look at both. So there's two big rating companies, FICO and Vantage. FICO and Vantage. The mortgage business uses FICO right now. And then inside of FICO, there's a whole bunch of them because these guys make money. They sell these things. They sell them to credit card companies. They sell them to automobile companies. They sell them to mortgages. In order for a mortgage bank, in order to pull the FICO, we do a FICO 5 and they pay for it somehow in the back. FICO 5. So on the FICO 5, they go, okay, cool. We're talking about giving you a $500,000 loan. What do we want to know? We want to know, how do you do in hard times? Do you stop paying your bills during hard times? So that factors into the algorithm of FICO 5. Do you make your payment no matter what? That factors in. How about recently? Have you done good recently? Because everybody hits ups and downs in life. That's life. You hit ups and downs. The question is, when you hit it down, how do you handle it? Do you walk from your debt? Is there a BK7 in there? Is there a BK13? BK13 is a responsible way to deal with bankruptcy. BK7 is, F it, I'm gone. I forget everything. So they look at, how did you handle your life all the way up until now? And then most recently, most recent 12 months are the most important. Because I've had people go, hey, listen, I got a 642 FICO. And I'm like, all right, cool. But you have 3 active collections from last month. Even with the 642 FICO, I am not getting you a loan. Because those 3 active collections are showing how you deal with debt. If you don't do good with when people lend you money, guess what? Banks don't want to lend you money.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Cool your brews. Does the interest rate differ based on credit score?
Yes, very much. Very, very, very much. And there's one thing that differs a lot. Not a little bit, a lot. Like a lot. And that's mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance. So anybody, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, that's putting less than 20% down has to buy mortgage insurance. All right. Cool. So you buy mortgage insurance. Sounds like a small thing, but it's not. It's not. Let's say you want to put 5% down and you want to buy mortgage insurance and you have a 622 FICO. I priced the 622 FICO. I came up with, what was it? 3.1? That one ridiculous one? Might have been 3.7.
Oh, the MI?
It was 3.7. And it was just a 622 FICO. 622 FICO. 3.7. Now what that means, it turns into money every month. Turns into money. So, because it was just barely above qualifying, you have to pay a ridiculous amount of money every month. Turned into like $700 a month. However, that same scenario, same loan amount, same interest rate, but with an 800 FICO, 0.21, which is $80 a month. So, big difference in mortgage insurance.
This is very strange. Jennifer Properties. There is one credit union here in North Carolina and South Carolina. 100% financing for I-10. A lot of requirements. Not all have 20%. Very strange.
That's very strange. Jennifer.
Scary. A bit scary.
Yeah, that's like ridiculously scary. Because here's why. I-10 means I'm not a citizen. And the way the banks deal with I'm not a citizen is, all right, cool, you can own some property, but you need enough skin in the game so you can just go back to wherever you're from. You can go back to, I don't know, Zealand, whatever. You can go back there, and if you default on my property and I have to foreclose, I'm going to have to hire the sheriff, an attorney. I have to hire, I have to burden the court system. I have to go through this whole process to foreclose. And if there's 20% down, well, then there's room inside of the deal for me to foreclose, take all the costs in, and then sell it and probably break even. Banks don't want to foreclose. They don't want to. They're not in the business of foreclosing. But if they have to, they need the room in order to do that. Now, the reason down payment assistance programs require such a high FICO score and such a good overall profile is to limit the ability for them to walk away from a loan. all loans are based off of risk. So if you're telling an I-10, which is not a citizen by definition, that they can get in for zero down, what's to keep them from going, you know what, I want to go back to New Zealand?
It's pretty creepy.
Yeah, think about it.
But it is what it is.
It's
William,
just, all of this stuff is math. It's just logic.
William Kendrick, 94. Can you get a HELOC without raising your interest rates?
Your HELOC will not raise your primary loan's interest rate. Doesn't raise it, doesn't raise it,
Doesn't
raise
combine
it.
it either.
Doesn't combine it, has nothing to do with it. If you're talking about a refinance or a cash out refi, you can't do it. You're going to get a new interest rate. That's how it works.
There you go, William. Sarah, thank you for the love. V, do you work in New York?
We work in New York City.
What city in New York are you, V? Let us know. We do. We just recently got licensed there about a month and a half ago.
We want to
so
get
we're
our
excited.
first loan in New York. We haven't done our first loan in New York yet.
Manny one, need your help. Can you reach out to me? Can you
No,
reach out to
Manny. No, you reach out to us. I don't know if you've been watching, but if you really want help, we will help you. We will. We're the best.
Pull out your screenshotter.
Yeah, screenshotter at this. Screenshotter it? Yeah,
Yeah.
screenshotter at this. Manny, if you reach out to us, call us, we'll help you. But we're not really chasing people down right now. It's just kind of not where we're at.
Miss Williams, to you. Thank you very
We work
much.
in Alabama. We do loans in Alabama. Loans in Alabama.
Rut-row, Camacho in the house. Any good mortgage attorneys you recommend?
Oh, shoot. What do we got going on here?
Rut-row.
Rut-row. What's going on here? So there are some attorneys that we have a handful of them. They're not mortgage attorneys or real estate attorneys. And if you need a real estate attorney, there's problems. There's some problems going on. So we want to help you. Whatever it is, we want to help you.
You're welcome, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Very good info. Amber Pumroy, do you recommend paying down credit cards every month before it reports to your credit report?
Maybe. It depends on what your objective is. If your objective is to live responsibly, probably yeah.
Live responsibly, not pay interest, have great credit.
Those three things, yeah. Those three things, yeah. But if you're using it as a credit building mechanism, if you keep 30%...
Inaccurate. Zero's just fine.
Zero's just fine?
Zero's just fine.
I disagree.
That's okay.
You know why? Here's the logic. Why would I, if I have no interest, if I don't make any money, and I have 10 credit cards, but nobody ever uses them at all.
I didn't say don't use them. We're talking about paying them off every month.
Okay. This is where I say, okay. You should use up to 30% of your credit card ability. Every year's fine, but don't cross 30%.
And you got to use your cards, guys.
Yeah, you got to use them.
You have to.
Because if you have 10 credit cards that are unused, you have useless credit cards by definition.
And they will shut them down on you.
Yeah.
Sarah, my husband wants to wait so we have more money to put down and pay closing costs.
Sarah, you can wait. I mean, this is a free country, and your husband is out making sure that we stay free. You're also free to take advice, and I would say that in this market right now, here's what's going to happen. High interest rate. $500,000 house, high interest rate. Where we're at right now, high interest rates. $500,000 house. Cool. Hey, I want to sell my house for $500,000. Cool. Put it on the market for $500,000. First weekend, no offers. Why? Because there's not a lot of buyers out there. There's not that many buyers. Trust me, I'm in the market. I know. There's not a lot. Second week, hey, no offers. Third week, no offers. Seller starts going, what's going on here? I'm not getting any offers. Fourth week, we get one offer. And that offer says, I'd like you to cover all closing costs. Now the seller has to go, listen, I want to leave California. I want to move to Florida. I don't really want to cover closing costs. It's not something the seller wants to do ever. They don't ever want to. But the market is dictating that if I don't cover the closing costs for this guy, he'll go to somebody else. And they will. So now the seller has to go, I haven't had any offers in 3 weeks. This is the first offer. I really don't want to cover $10,000 in closing costs, but I really want to move to Florida. So you know what? I will pay for all the closing costs. Does that happen? Every day in this market. Every day.
Sarah, the VA?
Yes, VA.
So VA no.
Yeah, VA no.
Very popular.
Yes. So now let me flip that. 1 year from now, let's say interest rates go down, just like these people anticipate it will. Same house hits the market, 500,000. But now there's not a few borrowers out there. There's a bunch of borrowers. Why? Because the interest rates went down. First weekend, because there's a lot of borrowers now. First weekend after the open house, 10 offers. 10 offers. Is that real? Happens. Of those 10 offers, you got those 3 genius people who say, hey, I'm going to lowball. I'm going to come in at 480. I'll show them.
They're called homeless.
Yes, I'll show them. I'm going to come in at 480. Okay, so 3 of them came in at 480. 3 of them came in at offer. Just offer, not paying closing costs. And 3 of them came in above offer. 505, 508, 510. Not asking for closing costs. Now, if you were the seller, what would you say to the people that came in at 480? Here's what you'd say. Thank you for your offer. Have a good day. That's it. And they're going to go, well, aren't they going to counter back? No. Are you crazy? Why? I got 6 already that are at price and above.
Waste of time.
Yeah, why would I counter? And these are the geniuses. There's always the geniuses. They'll never stop. There's always the geniuses that think they can lowball. They're always there. It's market. If the market allows, then you can. If the market doesn't allow, then you can't. It's simple. So those 480s are gone. And they're like, Lee, they wouldn't even look at my offer. I'm like, did you offer what they're asking? Well, no, of course not. Okay, cool. Have a good day. That's it. That's how life works. Cool. Then there's the ones at 500, but they want closing costs. And then there's the ones that don't want closing costs, 505. Which one would you take if you were the seller? That's because you have 10 offers because there's a lot of buyers in the market. But that's not where we're at right now. Where we're at right now, because the interest rates are higher, there's fewer borrowers out there, fewer buyers. Because of that, it's a buyer's market. It is not a seller's market. It is a buyer's market. Even though it doesn't seem like it because rates are high. Here's why. Because let's say you flex that muscle as a buyer and you say, I will take that $500,000 house. You pay all my closing costs. Truth is, you ended up with that house for about $490. That's the truth, $490. And guess what you get to do in 3 years? Refinance that 6.5% interest rate down to 4.5% like the rest of the world, and the price will not change on you. However, the rest of the world, real estate is going to keep going up.
Yep. And Sarah, so the VA no. It means no down payment, no closing costs. We've been very successful at accomplishing a lot of these over the years, but that will go away. So when the interest rates go down and the market goes up in price, no more closing costs. So you will absolutely be paying more out of pocket in the near future for the price of the house and your out of pocket expense. So just take that into consideration. You guys do what makes the most sense for you guys. We just want to help. Manny 1, appreciate, thank you, you bet. Miss Williams, to you, thank you for the love. Manny, again, what's a good time to reach out to you guys?
You can reach out to him in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, or you can go straight to the link in the bio.
And start the application right now.
We can get working on it today.
Live. You'll just hear us in the background giving badass knowledge and shit.
Well, we can start working on it today. Hopefully get you answers very soon. Sarah, does your pre-approval hard or soft credit pull?
All hard pulls. If you have LO is giving you a soft pull, it's junk.
Wasting your time.
It's wasting your time. Here's why. Because every loan officer, it's the rules of the game. We have to do what's called a tri-merge. We pull all 3 credit scores, and then we get rid of the high, we get rid of the low, and we keep the mid. Well, if you only pulled 1, you don't know if you got the low or you got the high or you have no idea. But the LO is trying to get you in by going, hey, I won't even do a hard pull. It's junk.
Shay, thank you for the love. Miss Williams, to you. Can you do loans for a barndominium?
Yes, if it's qualified under FHA or conventional. Barndominiums are this strange category that's popping up that they turn a barn into a condominium and they call it a barndominium. But it still has to meet the guidelines. If it meets the guidelines, then yes.
RMZ Karen, FHA assistance requirements change due to state?
Yes. FHA, so FHA loan is 3.5%, but in every state, there's a program in the state. Like in California, it's CalHAPA. In Texas, there's a different one. In Florida, there's a different one. But they have different requirements based off of the state, sometimes the county, And even the city, they have block grants. So even the city sometimes gives you a little incentive to move in here.
If I missed any of your questions, please ask it again. We're going to be heading out here soon, so we want to get to all you guys. Sarah, can I get a call with you guys and you can convince my husband?
You have to do the convincing. I'll do the facts. I don't talk people into buying houses. I tell them the state of the market. I could be wrong. I'm usually not, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. That happens. I mean, it's been a long time that I remember that I was wrong, but I could be wrong. And am I going to try and talk somebody into buying a house? No. But you can drop the data and you can say, hey, think about this, think about this, think about this, think about this, think about this. And when you guys are ready, I'll move forward with you. But if you're not, I'm not going to push it.
David Tito Dale, like fix my credit? I don't know what that means.
Like,
if you want to fix your credit, go to the link in the bio, click on fix my credit.
Not me.
I guess that's all you got to do.
Not me.
Manny, what's the credit score minimum to qualify for a high?
For a high? Well, you just say, hi. I don't even care what your credit score is. I'll just be like, hey, how you doing? Hi.
Maybe he's trying to get
hi. Maybe in Hawaii. Hi. Hi.
Can I get high, Manny?
Hi.
What the heck?
The credit score for FHA is 580. 580. For conventional Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, 620. For USDA,
580.
580. USDA, 580. VA, no qualifying score needed. No FICO needed. It is taken into account, but not necessary by the VA guidelines.
The phone's messing with you, Manny? It's time to throw that thing in the garbage.
I threw it on the ground.
What's the credit score minimum to qualify for a home loan? He just covered
Yep.
all of them with you.
Yep.
Fix my credit. Well, then
Fix my credit.
go to the link in the bio.
If you put if you put an exclamation point on that, it means you're yelling at him. If you put a question mark behind it,
Fix my critter.
fix my critter.
Fix my critter. Like that.
my critter got a broken leg.
My critter
Can
broke.
you fix my critter? He's got a broken leg. Yeah, I was hoping after you fix them loans, can you fix my critter? Yeah. If there's a question mark behind it, there's a link at the top. You can fix it. You can go to YouTube. You can go all over the internet. There's a lot of places to fix your critter. If you're yelling at him to fix your critter, it's probably not going to work because he's not going to fix your critter.
And I don't
Just
know what
not
that
going to do
means.
it.
That
I
sounds
absolutely am not going to fix your critter. I'm not going to fix your
You
critter.
might want to visit your critter.
So we have to figure out what's wrong with your critter in order to make it be fixed them.
I don't know,
Anyway,
man.
I don't know, man. That was crazy.
But hey,
anyway,
guys, really quick. Interest rates are going to start coming down. I've seen information this morning saying that the June 10th meeting is likely going to be the first reduction in interest rates. The first reduction. Likely. Not guaranteed. Maybe pushed back, maybe brought forward. I don't know. As when Lee shows you this stuff about all the people who are involved in the process, it's very confusing. But the latest data is probably June 10th, first reduction, which means interest rate starts coming down, prices start pushing up. Plus, you're going to be in the middle of summer during that time. It's already the busiest season of the year.
they call it season.
Yeah, so if you don't want the competition, if you don't want to pay the higher prices, if you want to be able to put in an offer and get it likely accepted like today and not have to go through it hundreds of times, because that will happen, guys. You need to put in your applications now. Go to the link in the bio, click on apply for a home loan now, or screenshot this right now.
And one more thing that you need to know. Here's the thing that you need to know. We've been Chris and Lee. We're out.